FLOSSTUBE, it's Leigh from Creatively on Sunday the 26th of January 2025 with FLOSSTUBE number 254. Welcome back to my weekly YouTube channel about counted cross stitch. Nice to see you here. Yeah, it's nearly the end of January. Man, that went fast. So yeah, is it Friday's the 31st? Yeah, crazy. It's humid here. I turned my aircon off and then I turned it back on again because I decided that I was going to sweat and I don't like sweating. So it's got up to like 29 here, 29 Celsius yesterday, and that's dumb. I know my sister's been like getting up to 36, 37 and where she is in Brisbane, and that's even dumber. But yeah, I don't love it. So yesterday we had our quarterly Wellington region stitch catch up in Johnsonville, and organises this. And it was, yeah, a smaller number of people this time than perhaps the last couple, but not unexpected this time of year. That was fun, got a little bit of stitching to a new start. So let's get our whips down, and I think I've started 3 things this year. Well, yeah, three things, maybe 4, 3. I have had 1 start and finish, so we won't count that. But anyway, I felt like it. I'll cover that shortly. I do have to work this afternoon. It's about 10:15 at the moment. I do need to get some testing done this afternoon, but this morning's my time. After lunch, I'll crack and do sort of 4 or 5 hours of just catching up on some testing. Our main tester is away for most of next week, and we just have a deadline we're trying to hit, so I'll try and cover where I can. Yeah, mostly just working on the on the old project that I used to manage. Again, a lot of testing and sort of hand over to the business sort of activities. And what else? That's pretty much it. Just been work, got my new bed. That's great. First night was like, what have I done? That's kind of normal, I think. You know, it's a bit firmer than my old bed. But the issue is more about just it's different, but also I couldn't quite get my pillow. So it's a bit firmer, so I need slightly loftier pillows. Then a softer bed, we need slightly less lofty pillows. So I just I have about 4 different pillow options in my house. So I was just I used a different one last night, much better. So we're just working through the optimal pillow to mattress combination so Leigh can get a good night's sleep. But yeah, so far so good. Yay. And that's pretty much it, I think. Yeah, there's a little bit of life update, not too much because mostly working. A couple of things new into the house. I passed the stash from Judith. She stitched this, and I think it was in a retreat she went to. She got this little she stitched it and just said, does anyone else want to stitch it? So I said, yeah, I'll give it a crack. I plan to find a little bit of fabric and stitch this, and then have it stitched ready to take the chart to the Christchurch retreat. Oh, sorry, no, give it back to Judith because she's got someone else next on the list who wants to stitch it. So just a cute little Scarlet House chart called Chirp Away. I don't know that this is available for general release at all or yet, but figure I can kit that up and stitch that quickly. Who knows, maybe I'll even look at finishing it at the retreat, so I get to ring a bell. So thank you, Judith, for passing that on. I also don't know if I mentioned this previously, I may not have, but I decided fresh start for 2025. I wanted to re-subscribe to the Tom and Lily Creations Floss Club, so I did that in December. So I actually did get the December pack. It arrived this week, so that's the email, the website down there. And I just love her flosses. And so what does it say? Take a look at the December thread pack, a carefully curated selection. This month's theme, Cranberry Spice, showcases a unique blend of new pigments and dyeing techniques, offering a beautiful, cozy December colour palette perfect for your seasonal stitching projects. And just a little tea as a freebie. So kind of we get 10 skeins. I think they're 8 meters skein. Yeah, 8 meters, 100% cotton. They don't have names. These are all, none of these have names. I don't know that she's providing names anymore. So I've got 4 kind of lovely cranberry colours, 4 lovely neutrals, and a couple of blues. Give some iciness. So really pretty palette. So yeah, really happy to be resubscribed, having taken a year or so off. The year that was 2024. Those are the new things to show you. So yeah, I should get that pack every month nearer the end of the month, by the time it gets all the way to little old New Zealand. I only stitched on a couple of things this week. I work so inconvenient to stitching. Also, of course, Onyx Storm released the book 3 in the Empyrean series, and I, again, work, unlike some people, can't take 2 days off to read it, and I'm not commuting as much, so balancing what I'm going to do has been a real challenge this week. And also, a couple of days I was just tired and didn't feel like working and, reading or stitching, and I worked late a couple of days as well. So I picked up my leap year sale, so I still had my January stitching to do on this. So Women in Profile by Cross Stitch Collectibles, and this is on 20 count Aida and the colour Nougat from Zweigart, using the charted DMC. And we got that, flosses are very beautifully, artfully arranged. I had to pull another half dozen colours that I needed to stitch some of the confetti. I stitched a few of the little fill-ins for some of the flower centres. I'll show you where I'm at. I can't see, I can just see through it, so that's where we're at. And I will show you where I worked in the general vicinity. So I did a lot of green. So of my 2,552 stitches, I stitched exactly 2,552. So I'm on exactly 28,072 stitches, as in the goal that I need to be like 22.5% by the end of January. So I did a lot of 890, so a lot of the dark green filling in here and in here. That little bit of tan is new. It was exciting to get a different colour in. That's new. And then there was a bunch of little fill-in, little bits of areas. So there's a bit of the 890 in here that needs to be filled in, a bit of black. But a few extra of these little flower centres are filled in. I think the one now that's at the bottom in this general area is just this one. So pretty much from here and here, it's all filled in except for that. There's a couple of stitches in here, and then you've got on this side, you've got stitches along this sort of line here. But I just was like picking maybe a dozen where there was like one stitch here and then maybe one up here, or in some cases like one stitch, and that's all that was in that colour. So I did a dozen of those, and then I picked up 8, 9, 10, did a whole bunch. So it's sort of how I'm trying to do this now, is pick a few little confettis that are hardly anywhere, and then do a bunch of the fill in, and that way I seem to be making good progress with it. So really happy with that. So on this side, the bottom stitch is, so on this side here, that's the bottom, empty stitch in here, again there, and pretty much everything else through here is filled in. I think there's a couple in there. No, that's filled in. It's all got some grey in it. So and this whole dress and this piece of fabric, because we've got another blue flower up here, it's just some stitches in there, and yeah, some stitches in there. There's a couple of little singlies in here. Otherwise, it's all done. Yay! It's amazing. So very, very excited. Well, excited, but yeah, that was the majority of my stitching for the week. I think like Saturday morning, I got up to get to my target of, you know, the 2,500 stitches target that I needed to get to, and I had something like 37 stitches or something to do yesterday morning, and that was just in 310. So I just, you know, pulled a length and stitched those and then just stopped. I could have kept going with it, went, nah, I'll stop. So yesterday morning, yeah, it was hardly any stitching just to finish off that goal, but that was pretty much everything I stitched until yesterday. And then yesterday at the, going to the Wellington region stitchy catch up, there was nothing in my whip pile that I felt comfortable taking, that, you know, I could do like easy stitching, meaning, you know, not taking a light or taking a whole lot of stuff. I just wanted something really portable. And I thought about taking the Ellie Jenks Needle Workshop, but I didn't feel like stitching on that. And also I had to pull some DMC. I didn't feel like doing that. And then I thought about, because yeah, most of my projects are on 40 count or 36, and I just didn't feel like, I don't like stitching on those generally in public. If it's an over-dyed fabric, you just need a better light and concentration. Anyway, I went through and I went, you know what? I'm going to do a new start. So I pulled out my second Just Love stitch box. This is Wall Art Block Small number 6 that I bought a couple of years ago. No, it was last January. So January 2024, and I went to Lily & Co in Greytown where they stock this brand. It's a South African brand, and I bought a couple of kits for I bought them half price. Instead of 40 bucks, they were 20. Those are the pieces to make the box. So I felt like starting it. So yeah, just all the kit materials. The only difference is I'm stitching with 3 strands of DMC instead of 2, so it does mean I need to substitute from my stash, and this is where I'm at with it. So I started with the concept of colour completing, and then I got quite a bit of the red, the 3830 in, and then it was wrong at the top. So I'd been stitching kind of like, there's all kind of odd numbers. You got 5s and 7s, 11s, 5s, etc. So I had stitched this bit down here, and I just like these stripes, and then I just carried on. But when I got to the top, it didn't match, and I was like, what the fuck? So I was trying to find the error, It took me ages, like, oh, I can't. I've counted it 900 times, and these are all like 11 and 7 and 5, and the gaps were correct based on my stitching down here. Then I thought, well, I'll put the black in, and I'll count the black. I won't base the black off of the rusty colour. I will stitch the black based off the chart. And it was when I got to here that I realised is the chart's got a inconsistency, we'll call it that. I'll just show you part of it. Like these charts, they're not, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, they're not, you know. So you can see in this centre here, you've got 2 rows, 2 rows, and then suddenly that one's got 3 rows and then 2 rows. And then, so where this was like 7 and 11 stitches, here it's 8 and 12. But every other, so basically right away across I've added a row, but so I'm stitching it as per this bottom section where it's symmetrical, and that means there's an extra row at the top. But once I worked out it was a chart issue, I was like, oh, thank God, I don't have to pull it out. I was stitching it based on consistent counting, and so then that was kind of cool. I was happy then to go ahead. So I stitched most of the rest of the red last night. I say red, I know it's not actually red, it's a rusty colour, but compared to this colour, it's red. it's closer to red on the spectrum than it is to blue. So, or green. So I finished most of this, finished all of the stripy bit last night, and I had these things done last night. I just this morning stitched most of these bits here, and then I went ahead and got the grey in. So the grey is colour completed and the red is almost colour completed. I did one little single doofer here, and you can't pin stitch on wood obviously, so I went, screw that, I'll wait till I get some in and then I can catch it's really hard to catch a single strand under the wood. You know, it's hard to get the right tension and get the needle through and everything. So I've got, that one's in, so I've got just one, two, just three. Gosh, got three little of those to stitch in. These are 3 decorative ones. So I'll carry on with the black, then I can get the golden. There's a bit of gold in each of these ones, and then the rest of it will be just fill in with the kind of beigey 644 fills it in. This one's is heaps quicker to stitch than the other one I stitched. Just to remind you, this was the first one I got. This was wool block 4. They only had 2 on the sale table. Very similar colour. This one has the same colour palette as well as a bit of B5200. But this one needed more, it was not as easy to kind of stitch from memory because it's a little bit random. This one was easy to get that foundation, especially once I realised the chart had an inconsistency / error, because it's, again, you know, 11, 7, 5, 5, 11, 7, 7. It's just easy. So once you get those 4 little, once you get the black in, a lot of the black follows the stripe, and then there's a bit of the black in each of these. Hardly, a bit of yellow, well, 3828, and then fill it in with 644, and I plan to finish this in February. It might make it, I don't think I'll take it to the retreat. I think I'll aim to finish it in February. So try not to start things, like I'm trying to get my whips down, but I also want to start stuff. So I'm sort of unofficially trying to start things that I can generally finish within the year, definitely the year, but maybe within a month or 2 of starting it, because I don't want to end the year with, you know, hundreds of whips and stuff. And anyway, that is my stitching. So and I've got so much stash, and I don't want to do like a huge stash drive because it's like just really kind of make me a bit icky and stuff, but I do appreciate sometimes going through some of my things on camera, because then I talk through it, and it's not that I'm looking for opinions per se, but sharing stuff out loud sometimes helps you with your thought processes, helps me anyway, and also, you know, pretty things. So I thought I might just, when I've got a shorter video, just grab a handful of things out of either my kit box or my partially kit box or my not at all kitted box or whatever, and just talk through plans and stuff like that. So I do want to start some things this year. Again, I want to finish some things, but I don't want to like have I'm not looking at a start for a year or anything like that, but I have so much stuff. So I thought I'll talk through some of that. So in no particular order, I grabbed 6 or 7 things that are all out of my kit box. So they're all kitted up. If they require DMC, they may not have the DMC in them. That's just because I pulled from my stash, my master set. So without further ado, I'll just talk you through a couple of things and what I'm planning. Okay, so I talked about this last year at retreat. When I went to the when I went to the Hutt Valley retreat, because there were 2 retreats last year, I was talking about, I kitted up, or mostly, no I did, I kitted up keepers of the threads. Sorry, keepers of the pins. I've had this chart for ages and had talked loosely about doing a bit of a stitch along with a couple of friends. And I've got some fabric from Catherine last year. I think it's a 28 count, but it'll be closer to like a 30 based on the fact that it's an over dye, and it was in her mist dye kind of box. Sometimes you end up with weird splotches or the colour doesn't come out, like it's got some extra kind of green and stuff on it. So I just grabbed this out of her kind of remnant bin or odd sod bin to use. I know it's a grayer than what is in the Corfu, but I think it's vintage country mocha. I don't want to use vintage. I don't love vintage country mocha. I know there's a couple of my subscribers, fellow YouTubers who absolutely love vintage country mocha. It's fine, but yeah, it's a little too orangey for me generally. So I'm going to do it on that. And again, I think it was charted for 32. Oh, it was charted for 36. I can't remember what this was. It's slightly bigger, but again, would have shrunk. I need to count it, but it'll be fine. I'll make it work. Mine will be a different size. And while I was at retreat, again from Catherine, I bought a couple of the flosses that I didn't have. Mountain Mist, Onion Skin, Ye Old Gold, I think just, or maybe it's probably Oscar, right? Yeah, Oscar gets a lot of love. Pimlico. I bought those from Catherine. Then it had some hickory sticks. Pulled cocoa from Tom and Lily is the white. And then there's the red. I had a bit of yellow gold. It calls for DMC 22, which is, to be fair, my favourite red. However, everything else is an over dye and it's got so much red in it. And I'm like, I want a little bit of variation. So I had a look through my stash at a couple of things that could work that are similar to 22. So I'm not sure which one I'll use yet. That's DMC 22. I pulled Lee de Ving from Tom and Lily. And it is, I would say, kind of a little bit more berry coloured. So probably a little bit not tomato enough, has quite a bit of quite bright red. And then I also grabbed from my Silks for You, I've got a slightly lighter but very tonally similar colour. It was just a Silk of the Month from April 2021, number 5. And I'll be using one strand regardless of what that count is. So I think I might use that. It's a little bit lighter. But I do also have another Silk for You that is very similar to this colour, a little bit more tomato-y, and I can't remember what it's called. I might use that. So we shall see. We just got those Tom and Lily ones. Nah, they're all too berry. We'll see. I'm not quite 100% sure. If in doubt, I'll just use DMC 22. Again, favourite, but so much red, and I feel like it could do with some variation. So just like tonal variation. And then I bought these pins because Helen from That Crafty Kiwi had the pins and they were perfect. So I picked them up to stick into one or t'other of the pin pillows. So that is going to be started. What am I going to do with it? I'm going to start it, one of them, at the Christchurch retreat in the beginning of March. So I need to find a wee bag for it and get my floss card and decide what red I'm going to use. Yeah, and I'll start one of the pillows with, at the Christchurch retreat. So I have a retreat start packed. And again, I don't know if I'll get all of those pillows stitched this year, but each of them should be pretty much a start and a finish because none of them are huge. I should really put the rest of the flosses in that bag because I don't have a fractor on the go. I only have one more of my random fractor charts in my kitted box, and I don't plan to purchase any more at this stage. I've got what, seven, or this will make like 8, I think, fractors all stitched. and Fractal, and I want them all to go together. So this is the last one that I bought from Stitching Spell, and it's not a huge one. It's 141 square, and I named, well, you guys helped me with names way back. So we've got Fernando and Philomena. So I've named all my Fractors. And when I get them eventually framed, I'll put on the back what their names were. So this won't be a massive, this is easily a start and finish for me, not in a week, but you know, it's not a huge one. I've got a wee fat 8th, I think. I've got 40 count, all of my Fractors are on 40 count. I've got 40 count bourbon linen from Country Stitch, and I'll probably use a variation of the DMC called for, and this may change, but basically I had a look at the DMC list, and then I went through my overstash, so where I've got multiple skeins for whatever reason. Sometimes people destash, sometimes I just bought too much, sometimes whatever, you decat a project. So I went through and I pulled colours that were, like I had a couple that were the call for, so which are they? 3021, where are you? I'm probably telling lies because I say that I have this colour and yet it's not here. Oh well. So like it's in my hand. Bloody hell. Sometimes I wonder if I should just be committed. So I've got, these are the call for, so 921, I've got 123 of these skeins because I was going to do a massive monochromatic with that, and then I didn't do it, so I've got heaps of that. And 3021, they're the called for. The rest of them are not called for, they're just, you know, next shade over or what have you. Called for DMC 0, not stitching, which I think they meant 30, they meant on this chart 5200, because a lot of the charting software can't handle B5200 because it's got a letter in it, so it just comes through as 0, but I'm going to pull just like 746, ignore the symbol, because I just felt like the cream was going to work better than that bright white on this fabric. Instead of 355, I pulled again, I don't have the floss here, so I don't know what I'm doing. 356, I think, I don't know where that is. Oh, it's almost charted, it's almost kitted. Instead of 731, I had 730 in the box, so that's fine. Instead of, what's this one? I think that I wrote down the wrong number. Oh, 782. So instead of 728 or 725, I originally pulled 725. It was just didn't look right on. Here it is, 725. But I've also got 782. I think it's in a couple of different places, and I might use one or the other depending on what it looks like. I feel like that's too bright on that, but I prefer that. So I've got a couple of options for that. My favourite red makes an appearance. Why have I got this here? It's not even on the list. 22. Why would I pull that out? I don't know what I'm doing. I've got that in there as well. 22. Again, favourite. And then I've got 30. Instead of, it's called for grey green dark, 3768. And I just went with 3051. Again, I had that in my stash, and I like that green on there. So they might change as I stitch it. I think with that yellow border is where I've decided that maybe this is going to be better on this fabric, because I think that yellow border is going to be way too bright. I don't know. It might be all right. I'll do a bit of a sample stitch. It just feels too bright, so it doesn't really matter. So at some stage I wanna pick that up. So I really want to get them in the bag, and And then, yeah, so I don't know when I'll start it, but that's on the to be started and finished this year list. Sorry for the, I usually don't crinkle but I did today, never mind. Okay, I want to start Spring House. This is I bought last year, aftermarket I think, I'm not really sure. I love it so much, and it's just simple, and I have a couple of fabrics. I just picked a bunch. I got Catherine to dye me 3, 4, 5, 8 of just some different blues, and I pulled from them. So I'm going to stitch mine with Country Stitch fabrics. They're both in 35 count. This one's Coastal Ice, that'll be for the top, and this one is Alpine Spring, that'll be for the bottom. Then, you know, slightly different shades, but they will be fine. It's charted for DMC. Probably just going to use DMC because it's got quite a big list, and it's so busy, and with the lovely overdyed fabric, I think that you don't really get the benefit of any overdyed when you're doing lots of little sprinkly things, because you want those tonal things. And does it have white? No, it's used as a crew, I think, as that like fence and stuff. Let's have a look. I've got so much ecru. I've got a bulk lot for some reason, like 12 or 15 skeins. Yeah, so the white is actually ecru. Yep, I was just having a look at the flowers and stuff. So inside the flowers and things, and that fence is all ecru. I love it. So I really want to start that. I think that the couple of different options for finishing. This particular model, they were stitched separately and mounted separately on boards and just butted up against each other. I might stitch them together. I don't know, but we'll stitch them separately and worry about it later. But anyway, that I kind of just want to start it really soon. I think that I will wait, and as soon as I get one of my other big houses finished, so this might be a start for when I finish the Vibrant Flowers, which is Mother. That's what I'll do. So that will be a start as soon as I've finished Vibrant Flowers by Kathy Barrick. I don't have a Nora Corbett on the go, and I do want to pass these charts on to a friend. I promised them to her, so I kind of feel like I should just get on and stitch it. So a couple of years ago, I stitched these two, so Nora Corbett's Bella Butterfly and Bella Bee, so they are both done, and I want to stitch the companion pieces, which is Bella Rose and Bella Hydrangea. So I'd like to stitch these two. Again, they're little, relatively straightforward. I mean, they're full coverage, but they're small. They are each 72 by 62 stitches. They have full coverage. A little bit of back stitching around the face. I don't think these have. I know they do, yeah. So I've got a little scrap of 32 count white linen, and I've got the various beads I need, and just some of the skeins where I need more than like one, where I needed more than a partial skein on a master set. So I would like to start one of them pretty soon, and then I can, as I said, give it to my friend Karen, and I might get fabric for her as well. So I will, probably start. We want to start one of them. What should I finish first? I have to have a look at my stat and my whips and just see what will I finish that would then trigger me to be able to start one of those. Or I'll just start one. I don't know when. Not this week, probably. A little kit I've had kitted up for ages that I just want to start, and I think that because it's very similar in style, maybe I'll wait until I finished the, what's it called? The Teresa Kogut one, Remember Me, because of all the big flowers. They're very similar style sorts of flowers. I might wait until I finish that and then whip this one. That might be what I do. So I've got plant seeds. I cutted this up ages ago and I just haven't started it, and I'm doing it all with my own. It's charted for, the model was stitched on 40 count ancient from Picture This Plus using all classic colourworks, but I just had a piece of 36 count Mind Blowing from Fortnite Fabrics that I've had for ages, and it sort of reminded me of the fabric. It had that kind of mottly, bruisey sort of colour. So I'm going to use that, and I just pulled, there are no sorts of needs for, like, the colours are quite random. You don't need like 3 shades of a different particular blue or anything. So I just picked a whole bunch. I think it's almost all Tom and Lily from my stash. So, you know, the colours are often pretty random. So just sort of pull them up. I'm not going to read out what they are because you probably can't get the same colours anymore. Most of these were from kit clubs. Just lots of pretty bloomy colours. A few pinks. A lovely orange. And lovely kind of mustardy green, and a couple of Victorian mottos. Also can't buy those necessarily. I feel like I don't have enough green. It's all one green, so we might rethink this green. This might not be dark enough, and I also might not have enough. One strand, it should be fine. I don't know, we'll see with that. I need to do a sample to see if one strand stands out okay. It's a little bit lighter than what the green is, so we'll see. That might be swapped out for something a little bit bluer, really. We shall see, but I'm really keen to start that. So it's not huge, but it has quite a lot of stitching in it, so we might start that again, yeah, when I finish Remember Me. And looking forwards to August, September, I'm sure Narissa's going to do her stash sampler starts again, or something like that, or sampler September stitching. So got a couple of samplers I probably want to start this year. I picked this up from a retreat. I think it was a retreat. I picked this up secondhand ages ago. I don't remember where, but it's just this one here. So I think it was from a retreat, like D-Stash table. So it's from Theron Traditions. It's not a repro, it's a, you know, in the style of, it's called the Industrious Bee Sampler, and I just freaking love it. I love how bright it is and cheerful and XYZ. I like the little saying. I think it's probably over 1. Is it over 1? It is over 1. The industrious bee extracts from every flower its fragrant sweets and mild balsamic power. Learn thence with greatest care and nicest skill to take the good and to reject the ill. I don't know, it's cute. But I love the colours. It's in DMC. I will just stitch it in DMC. I think it's stitched in DMC. Oh yeah, it is. Quite a few colours, a couple of blends. Oh, that's annoying. Oh no, I can work with that. I'm going to stitch on mine on 35 count, but we can handle a couple of blends and a couple of French knots. And a couple of specialty stitches. Yeah, herringbone, some satin stitch, colonial knot, meh, and queen stitch. Work both flowers completely in queen stitch in area D. Where's area D? I don't know what area D is. I don't know where area D is. It talks about areas. Oh, here we are, D. Oh, yeah. Okay. These flowers up here are worked in Queen Stitch, these two. It's just so beautiful. Anyway, and the fabric. So yeah, I said I was going to use 35 count linen. It's a fabric I dyed myself. So it's this, when I did a dyeing session with a bunch of my friends a couple of years ago, we dyed, this was what we were going for a beige fabric, and we got darker than this, green, and I had this big ass piece. And it was quite darker green. It looked like army fatigues. I then put this through a bit of a scrubbity-dub. I gave it a bit of a detergent wash just to lighten it a bit, and I love the color that it came out. It's definitely a little more green than what it's looking like on my camera. So it's definitely in the khaki range, and I decided that it would be perfect for this vintagey sampler to use this fabric that I dyed myself. It looks like it's just on a natural linen. I mean, it's from back in the olden days, when they didn't often put dates on things, like for copyright, 1992. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to use the call for DMC. It is 35. I'll have to be a bit clever around some of the blends. It's going to be a real pain in the ass for all that over one, but that's fine. And then the personalization over one, that's fine. But you know, do a little bit, do a flower, and do a little bit. Anyway, that is going to be a start during Stash Sampler Starts. So I'll be doing Stash Sampler Starts this year. And another sampler start I want to do later in Sampler of the Year Awards, Stash Sampler Start, is going to be a restart. I'd started this back in, I crossed it out, who knows when. So anyway, it's Helen Halley 1843 Scottish sampler. So it's a reproduction by Deborah Fasano. It was from Just Cross Stitch October 2019. I got it off Ridley. And I originally had it on, I think, a 32 count, and with the call for DMC or similar. And I started it, and I hated it. It was so garish. I hated the colours. I just started like down here, and I got a couple of these done. I was like, no, I don't like it. The reason I wanted to stitch this is it's got the little chart comes with, in the magazine, came with a little bit of a blurb about Scottish samplers, and it had some information about historical motifs and mystery mansions. So it talks a lot about, a little bit, not a lot, it's like 2 pages, right? But it's a reproduction, and this is the originals. They have a little, tiny little picture, and I'm like, I want mine to look like that. Or at least, so not like this modern interpretation. So while it's a reproduction, they've taken a very, very kind of garish colorway. So I had started it, hated it, killed it, and then decided I'd kit it up using so that it ended up looking something like that. It's not going to be exact, but you know. And it's not a huge sampler, so what did I pull in the end? Did I write it down? I did. So I ended up completely dekitting, and I've got a piece of 36 count up in the attic from Fox and Rabbit. So yay, great colour for that. So really nice just good, solid, neutral. 36 count, not 32, so it'll be nice and wee. It'll be a wee sampler, and I won't need to use 2 strands. And then I just went through, and I think it might be, it's not 100%, it's not most anything. It's all over dyes from my own stash. So I think I have more colours than I need. I don't know. But I just pulled, I've got like what have I got? Nina's threads. I've got Weeks. I've got Tom and Lily. I've got lots of Tom and Lily, so Tom and Lily does frequent my Victorian motto, Gentle Arts, Victorian motto, lots of Victorian motto. I used to subscribe back in 2019, 2020, till they stopped being good at doing that. Tom and Lily, Victorian motto. So predominantly Tom and Lily and Victorian motto, with a couple of Weeks and Gentle Arts thrown in there for good measure, and just lots of lovely Leigh colours, so autumnal, mossy greens and rusty oranges and blah blah blah. So I'm just going to give it a crack, Nigel, and I'm going to be so much happier with that. You can't even see the fabric behind that huge pile of flosses. So I think I've got a couple of extra flosses in there, and it will be a case of what looks good, not necessarily following the charting exactly. I don't need to worry about it on day one, but I do want to chart this for a family branch. As with lots of Scottish samplers, they're good at putting every initial of everyone who was ever related to them in there. There's 2 rows of initials. I don't know yet which branch of family I will pick and just pop initials in, but I'll probably do that. And I'm looking forward to that. Those are 2 samplers that I want to start for sampler stash. The stash sampler starts in August/September. I don't know if I'll do 8 or 9 or 5 or 3, but there's 2 that I plan to start. And all I need to do is before then is decide what family branch I'm gonna use for the initials. But I won't get to them for a little way because they are in the top half, and of course I start at the bottom. And instead of Helen Helly 1843, I might put like the matriarch of that particular line, and it will take up quite a bit of that space because it'll be somebody McDonald. And whatever year, I don't even know what year I put. Oh, we'll worry about it later. I'll leave that empty and just stitch the motifs. I need to give that a little bit more thought and log into Ancestry.com and decide which family line is going to be part of that. Anyway, there's a little bit of stuff from the box. There's so much. So I thought, yeah, again, if I don't have too much stitching to show you, I'll just work through a few things, and in doing that I might decide there are things that I can cull or pass on or re-kit or de-kit or whatever it might be. Okay, it ended up being quite long. I'm not going to leave this video till late like I did last week. Apologies for the video going up late. I did leave it. It did end up not getting edited till quite late in the evening. And then I pushed go to upload it, and I went to bed, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, it was still stalled at like 41% uploading after 4 hours. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, Monday morning, I ended up killing it all together and started again. It must have just got its knickers in a twist. It was probably everyone in the US trying to get everything moved from TikTok onto YouTube or something. I don't know. And then, yeah, 3 o'clock in the morning, pushed go again. It took like minutes. So I don't know what happened. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't like your video, and it just wouldn't go up. So once I restarted it, it went up, and yeah, that's great. So where am I going to put these ones that I've decided I'm going to work on this year? I'm going to need another bloody basket, aren't I, of things I've already shown you, and I should probably write down some rough plans because I'll probably forget. Oh well, take care, and yeah, we'll see you next week. If I enjoying your stitching, and as always, don't let your needles rust. Ciao.